Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, we just got done with a fantastic live stream where we unboxed a brick of the new Dungeons & Dragons Icons of the Realm's 50th anniversary figures. Here's a few of our highlights right there. So many more amazing figures as well, but now it's time to unbox brick number 2. I got a full case. I got 4 bricks of these guys, and we are going to be opening them. I just wanted to do at least one of the bricks live, and that was a ton of fun. Thank you everyone who joined us for that one, because it was just cool to see everyone's reactions as the figures were being pulled. And so many of you have memories of playing D&D with those early edition figures, or not figures, but early edition monsters and what have you. And it was just so cool. We compared and contrast the first to 5th edition sculpts, and some of them we absolutely agreed first edition was the better sculpt, but there were some where we were also in agreement that the 5th edition figure looked better. And then we were split on quite a few of them. So that's where we left off. And I just ended that live stream like 10 minutes ago, and I was like, I can't stop opening these now. So the rest of these, I'll probably be opening them and releasing the videos one at a time over the next couple days. Here we go, folks. Brick number 2. So what am I looking for here? Well, obviously, having picked up a full case, I'd like to get a full set. I don't know if that's still a thing, or as many of them as I possibly can. But if I don't, the figures that I still absolutely must have, the Young Gold Dragon, that first edition, the Ampersand Dragon, I need that. But also the Eidolon, the idol, the demon idol. I mean, that is just such a classic figure. So here we go. It is time now to crack open booster number 1 of this second brick. All right, here we go. Plus the live stream quality, at least I just don't know. I'm not a great live streamer. My quality just is not the best. My camera quality, at least here with the phone, doing a video recording, we can get a closer look at some of the better details. All right, so I will say, we, out of 8 boosters, we only had 2 duplicates, and already booster number 1 of this, we do have our first duplicate of this bunch. This is the first edition green slot. I don't know if I still have the other one handy. Yeah, actually I do. So I'm just going to compare this right now, because we were laughing at the disparity between the first edition green slot and the 5th edition. As you can imagine, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there are definitely those nostalgic for this first edition version. And it'll definitely have its place. I can't wait to use it in some of my Dicey Depths games. But yeah, just between the two, my personal preference was definitely for this 5th edition version of the green slot. So there we go. We're starting off with that guy. All right, who are our 3 smaller figures? Oh my gosh, we have a second duplicate already, but this is one that I even mentioned in the stream. I do want hordes of these guys. And actually, this is our first 3-peat. So, and let me look at the green slot again up close, because I know I was zoomed out. When we zoom up close like this, you can definitely see the quality on this guy. So he looks very cool. Love his eyes and everything. But I just preferred the 5th edition of that one. But this is a first edition goblin. And so this was one of the 2 duplicates I got in that first brick. So and this is one that I said I definitely want multiples of, because you can't have enough goblins. Plus, I think it was kind of unanimous. We preferred the first edition of the goblins. The 5th edition goblin was fantastic because it has a bow and arrow. If you ever, and I'm not going to rant for too long, but if you ever watch any of my other like warband reviews or anything, you know that I'm like, it's always melee. They're always melee figures with maybe someone throwing a javelin or casting a spell, but it's very rarely a crossbow or a bow and arrow. So I'm definitely an advocate for more ranged figures, which is why I definitely like the 5th edition goblin. But just oh, sorry, this wasn't even, I was looking off into space as I was ranting about the goblins and not even paying attention. But this first edition goblin won me over. I prefer the skin tone of this as compared to kind of the pale yellowish of the 5th edition. But that is a goblin. All right. And we have another duplicate. Oh my gosh. We are 3 for 3 of these figures being duplicates of what we've already seen. This is the 5th edition Blink Dog. Yes, the 5th edition Blink Dog. This is another one we compared and contrasted. The 1st edition Blink Dog, I think this was one I said it was a tie because I could not make up my mind, because this 5th edition, I like that it's actually in the process of mid blink. And I actually do like how it's almost kind of looks like a rabid, malnourished dog. But the 1st edition Blink Dog actually looked like a figure you could use as a normal dog. So yeah, it was definitely both. I have their place there. Will this 4th figure be someone different? Oh my gosh, it is. Now, who might this be? This is a skeleton, a 1st edition Skeleton Knight. Now, this is another one that I would love to have multiples of. That sword, though, yeah, we need to straighten him out. We may need to do the hot water trick a little bit, because if you leave him kind of hunched over, his sword kind of goes to the kind of curves there. But I do love the old school look of this 1st edition Skeleton Knight. Our first new figure. It only took the 4th figure of this pack. That's crazy. 3 out of the 4 figures were duplicates there. That's not looking good for my odds of trying to get a complete set here, but let's keep it moving. All right, next up, who do we have? Oh my gosh, another duplicate. Holy smokes. We have another 5th edition Flail Snail. At least the one difference between these two, I know people who watch the live stream are going to be like, wait, is this the live stream recap all over again? Because now this is, we are now 4 for 5 of these being duplicates that we've already pulled. This is the 5th edition Flails. Now, at least the difference in these videos is that you can see this in better quality than the live stream was. But yeah, this was a toughie, but I think we went with the 5th edition on the Flail Snail as well, preferring it over the 1st edition, though the 1st edition was so nostalgic. And I preferred the 1st edition's flails because they had like a black detail to them. Okay. Oh my goodness, we've got another duplicate, and this guy is the Shadow Demon. Oh my goodness, look at him. This is the 1st edition Shadow Demon, which, you know, just looking at it without comparing to the 5th, I'd say, yeah, this is a sweet fig. The 5th edition one, though, is just takes this and looks like it evolves with huge wings and just overall more grandiose figure. But still, 1st edition is a very cool figure. Next up is another duplicate. This is the 5th edition Goblin. This is the bow and arrow we were just talking about. So yes, definitely want more of these guys. Now I'm starting my horde of goblins. Now I have 5 goblins. I have 3 melee goblins and 2 range, but you can see the difference in skin tone there. And I absolutely love the bow and arrow, though. So definitely happy that if I was going to get duplicates, these are the kind of duplicates I want, because I want a whole horde of those goblins. And we finish off pack 2 with another duplicate. This is another one. This was one of the first figures we pulled, I think. This is a 1st edition Knoll, and this was another one that I said, yes, let's get duplicates of this guy, because I want a whole war band of these Knolls. And I think, if I remember right, I picked the 1st edition over the 5th, because we got one of each, and I think I'm absolutely going with the 1st edition Knoll here, because I just love all the equipment and weapons this one has. Okay, we are a quarter of the way through this brick, and so far we only have one new figure. That is not, the odds are not in my favor. That first brick was fantastic. We only had 2 duplicates, and obviously, you know, as we go along, there are going to be duplicates, but my God, hopefully we get something new. And we're not starting out too well here. This is another duplicate. This is a Flail Snail 1st edition. So at least now we can compare these and contrast them. So here is the 1st to the 5th Flail Snail, 1st edition Flail Snail. Again, I think we went with the fifth because the fifth was overall more imposing. This first edition just looks so nostalgic, but I prefer its flails. And they are stubbier, but I like the black detailing on the first edition flails. All right, so we have a horde of flail snails as well. All right, we are going to get one new figure there, it looks like, but these other two look like they're also going to be duplicates because we have another Knoll. We have the 5th edition Knoll now, so now you can compare the two. This 5th edition Knoll is very cool. I like the armor. I like the kind of sickle weapon there. But overall, I kind of preferred the 1st edition Knoll overall, though the 5th edition one looks more demonic. Like, the 5th edition looks like he might be the commander of the rest of these Knolls if I had a whole party of those Knolls. All right, so we have those already. And in fact, here's another duplicate, but this is another of the ones we can actually compare right here, where it is the Shadow Demon. This is the 5th edition Shadow Demon, so I can show you what I was talking about. Look at the wings on this guy. This is the one that has these crazy cool wings. This is like I was mentioning, how it almost looks like it kind of evolved from this 1st edition Shadow Demon to this edition. Look at the face. Look at the fangs and the horns. So yeah, like any other time, the 1st edition Shadow Demon would be my guy, but in comparing these two, I gotta go with the 5th edition. Oh my gosh, he's just such a cool fig. Now here is finally 3 packs in and only our 2nd new figure, but at the very least, it is a chase, it looks like, because the rest of these have this white lettering on the bottom. This has gold. This is a Paladin in Hell. And that means, look at this guy. This is classic. Look at the shield. Oh my gosh. This is straight out of the art. So some of these, like, I can't wait to, I almost want to display them with the art, but this was the other chase figure that we got. This was the Fiend in Hell. So now we have the Paladin in Hell and the Fiend in Hell. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? Well, at least if we were not going to get a whole bunch of new guys, at least the new ones we did get were the hard to get ones. Well, at least that guy was anyway. All right, here is booster number. Do they call these booster packs? I don't even know why I'm calling them booster packs, because it reminds me of like Magic the Gathering or a much older miniatures game, Mage Knight, where you actually had... Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. All right, what do we have? Please be a different big figure. It is! Oh my gosh! I don't care. I do not care what is in the rest of the pack. This is the figure that I have been dreaming of ever since I saw the set. Oh my gosh, the ampersand dragon. That's what I keep calling it, but it's a young gold dragon. This is the icon. This is the iconic dragon. Oh my gosh. I was like looking around. Whenever you see the modern Dungeons and Dragons logo and you see that ampersand dragon, and this is it. This is the ampersand dragon. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just like freaking out because this was it. This is like the one figure that I had to have, that if I did not get it out of this case, I was going to go buy it. Like the rest of the figures, leave them, love them all, but you know, I wouldn't go out of my way to go get more. But this was the one that I had to have. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, this is just so iconic. I don't, and iconic in the sense that I'm going to put this on display somewhere. You know, like the rest of these guys, I'll put them in my Plano boxes or in drawers where I can just go grab a handful of them at a time. This guy is going on a shelf in a display case somewhere. I don't know how often I'll actually use him in a game because like for like as a monster practicality, he looks cool for sure, but I just don't know how often I'd use him in a game. This, I wanted him so bad for the display. Oh my gosh, because if there's anything, this is the quintessential Dungeons and Dragons figure. When you think of all the pre-painted D&D figures, whether it was back in the day where it was Wizards of the Coast doing it, or more recently when WizKids is doing it, when you think Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, even before, like, why are we even talking the pre-paints? Let's go all the way back when they were lead figures from other manufacturers. and, you know, like Grenadier, Ralpartha, all those other guys, creating fantasy figures for use in war games and RPGs. I just feel like this sums all that up. This is where we are in 2024. This is what it's all led up to. The figure that embodies all other figures. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just going off because this was it, folks. This was the one. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Yep, this was number 50 of 50. Oh. Anyways, I'm just so pleased. I am pleased as punch right now. Holy smokes. All right. Actually, we do have a new figure here. This is another new fig. This is, I believe, the 5th edition Kobold. Yes, 5th edition Kobold. I know you go from like this iconic, beautiful figure to just a standard Kobold. But folks, I'm actually really excited about this one because I love the 1st edition Kobold, and the 1st to 5th editions of the Kobolds are the ones that I feel like integrate just seamlessly with each other. Sorry, I keep talking and not looking at the camera, and I keep missing if it's focused or not. Because, and just like with the goblins kind of as well, you obviously, I want hordes of these guys. And I did not, this was one that I had not yet gotten. I have the 1st edition, but I didn't get the 5th edition. So now I'm super excited to have this 5th edition Kobold. These other two are going to be duplicates. We have the 5th edition Githyanki, but I actually love this one because it is not bent. My other one is kind of at the ankles, kind of leaning out like this. So definitely pleased to get that. And now we can compare these two. This was the 1st edition Githyanki I already had. And when we looked at these, same kind of thing. I do like the 5th edition, but you can't not go with the 1st edition Githyanki on this one, I feel like. I just feel like that is just the classic Fiend Folio art. You've got to have it, but still very cool. And then here is another Blink Dog. This is the 1st edition Blink Dog, so we can compare these as well. And so you can see what I was kind of talking about, how like you could almost use that 1st edition as just kind of a dog companion for yourself, whereas the 5th edition is literally in mid-blink. So absolutely love it. Okay, we're halfway done. I'm just so glad I got that ampersand dragon. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That just embodied with the 50th edition, 50th anniversary, 50th edition. Oh my God, can you imagine? 50th anniversary of D&D is all about right there. But what's next? Oh, we got another new one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is this the Queen of Spiders? Yes, Lolth. Oh my gosh. 5th edition Lolth. Oh my goodness. Look at her. Look at the detail on these legs. Oh, this is creepy. Oh my gosh. I love this figure. This is so freaking cool. Absolutely love that. Look at the detail on her face. Come on, focus on that. Look at the detail on her face. I know so many people just decry pre-painted figures. I could never do that. I could never do this. Look at the red little tiny... Look at the black eyeliner around her eyes. And look at the gold little tiny face paint marks on her face. I could never do that. I absolutely could never do that. So this is just so cool. Oh my gosh, what an amazing figure. What a truly amazing figure. Oh my gosh, and this is a new one too. Who is this? This is Mordenkainen, 1st edition Mordenkainen. Look how cool this is. Look at his face. Again, look at the detail on his face with the gray stripes on his beard. 1st edition Mordenkainen. All of these legendary figures, like we already looked at Strahd, we looked at Osirok, we looked at, oh, who was that other guy we looked at? Oh my gosh. But anyways, so all of these legendary figures, Lolth we just saw, Mordenkainen now. Look at the detail work on his belt and his daggers. Oh, this is just such a cool figure. Oh, we have a duplicate that we saw previously in the live stream. This is a Lemur, I believe. This is the 5th edition. Now, this was one we were divided on. A lot of people preferred the 1st edition. I went with the 5th because I like the arms and I like the melting, weird, goobly face. So I preferred this 5th edition version of that particular figure. Oh my gosh, this looks like a new guy. I do not recognize this one. This is the 5th edition Skeleton Knight. Okay, this is very cool because now we can do a live first time impression of the two. So we have a 1st edition Skeleton Knight and the 5th edition. Come on, focus on these guys. I know the box packaging is so cool, but let's take a look at these guys. 1st edition on the left, 5th edition on the right. I don't have a live audience here to compare and contrast with. So what do you guys think? I mean, the 1st edition is just so nostalgic. But the 5th edition is very cool because I like the skull. I like how it's not just like a human skull. It's human skeleton. Very cool. I like the noble pose of the 1st, but I like I don't know. I'm leaning towards 5th edition on these two. Come on, focus. I'm leaning 5th edition on those two. Okay, next. 3 more boosters to go, and then we have 2 more bricks to go. So I really shouldn't be too surprised. I guess there's 60 figures, right? Because I keep seeing on here that there's, 10 secret rares. We now have 2 of them. So there's 8 more. But there's 50 figures overall, besides those 10 chase figures. And so I assume that's 25 1st edition, 25 5th edition. I'm not sure how, I haven't been keeping track of how many I've actually got. So we could, and 32 figures in a brick, and we only had 2 duplicates, was it? So we got 30 of the 50 already or something like that, or 29. Oh, here we go. We do have another duplicate here. This is a green slod. So we actually compared these earlier. This is the 5th edition. This is the 1st edition. These are the 2 figures that, it's insane the difference between editions. They're like the biggest disparity in different editions. But I definitely went with the 5th edition on those guys. Okay, let's see. Okay, it looks like, I know I'm peeking ahead. Looks like these are all duplicates, but they are not duplicates for this brick. I'm just going to pull them all out because these are all new for this brick. So if you just get a brick, you're not likely to have many duplicates within the brick. We've only seen one of that so far, I think. No, we haven't. I don't think we've had a single duplicate in this brick yet. But this is all 1st edition. 1st edition Dwarf, 1st edition Lemur, and 1st edition Kobold. And you can see the Kobold. This was the one that I really like. And actually, we can do a comparison on that too. I did go with the 1st edition Dwarf. This Dwarf, I preferred this one over the 5th edition one. Look at just how cool that looks. I know we all kind of agreed we wished his hammer was bigger, but everything else is just so cool. And then here's the difference in the Lemurs. So you can see it's almost kind of a goofy face to me, but I mean, if that's what you remember, maybe you're just more nostalgic for that. And I know, you look at the face of the 5th edition when you're like, but that kind of creepy, melty face is what made, and I like the pose. I like the pose better than just kind of a pile. And then the Kobolds, 1st and 5th edition, these are the ones that I was like, yeah, these both just fit. The 1st edition almost kind of looks like Tom from Tom, or Jerry. Which one was the cat? I guess it would be Jerry was the mouse, right? This almost reminds me, it looks like Jerry's mouse face, kind of, if he was a demon. Because it almost kind of has a cute, adorable aspect to it. But if you don't look at it that close, you just see that they're kobolds, and they work really well together, I feel like. All right. What else? What else am I really looking for here? Well, I do need, obviously, the 5th edition of a lot of those villains, because most of the villains I've been getting and other figures of prominent stature, like Mordenkainen, I need the 5th edition versions of, but I also do need the 5th edition of the Mimic. We got Vecna 1st edition. We need the 5th edition. Vecna was the other one I couldn't think of. We have Strahd 1st edition. We need 5th edition. And we definitely need the 1st edition of this guy. Actually, I think we may need both. I don't think I even got the 5th edition of him. So we still have a lot of stuff we have to get. So let's see what pack number 2 offers. And this is why, and I don't know if I'm... Oh, and ask and you shall receive, as I'm like stumbling over my words, because this is the 5th edition. No, this is 1st edition Pit Fiend. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. This is one that I absolutely love the 1st edition of. I can't wait to see what the 5th edition looks like. I'm just glad to have another different big figure. 1st edition Pit Fiend. Look at this guy. Look at his face. Oh my gosh. Look at the detail on that. Oh my gosh. He looks so cool. Absolutely love him. We do have another. Now this, I believe, is our first duplicate in this brick. And it's one of these gnolls, which I love because now I can have a whole war band of these gnolls. What was I even saying before? Now I don't even remember what I was saying. This is a new one. Yes, it's the 5th edition Mimic. Yes. A Mimic. We had 2 1st editions in that first brick. Oh, that's what I was saying. So if you just get a brick of these, you're pretty much golden if you want just a variety of different figures, because not too many duplicates in a single brick, that's for sure. And when I bought 4 bricks from my local game store, I don't think they tampered with, taking bricks out of the box and shuffling them around and putting bricks back in the box. I don't know, because like I obviously just wanted a case. A case is 4 bricks. Anyway, I won't get into all that, but I think they just left it as the 4 bricks that came in the case, because I was just trying to gauge that. And here is a Bugbear. And I think I personally, yeah, I definitely went with this. This is the 5th edition Bugbear. This is the one I went with. I prefer the axe. I prefer the stature. Look at the face on this guy. Look at the fangs and the eyes. Oh, that is so cool. The fact you can see his gums. 1st edition Bugbear was very iconic, but he just kind of looked, I don't want to say he looked dumb. Like he just looked, I don't want to say he looked stupid, but he just looked like he wasn't all there. But this one looks so cool. This one looks menacing. All right, last boost box, last random pack of this brick. And we are going to call it a day. Well, I'm not. I'm going to open the rest of these too. But for this video, come on, let's go out with a bang here. What do we got? Are you kidding me? Oh no. I mean, still very cool, and I already see something in there that I'm very excited about. But to get 2 of these guys, oh my gosh, before we even have the 5th edition version, we now have 2 1st edition Pit Fiends in the same booster brick. Oh my gosh. Well, that tells you that it's possible. All right, 2 Pit Fiends. Oh my gosh. But this is the one that I'm really excited about. Oh my gosh, I see something else I'm really excited about too. Because look at this. We have, I believe this is 5th edition Mordenkainen. Yes! So we are going out with a bang, and not only that, I see something else really exciting that we're about to open, but let's focus on this first. Look at the detail on this guy, folks. Oh my gosh, I love his outfit. I love this spirit hound that he's got with him. You have to forgive me, I don't know a whole lot of the backstory of some of these guys, but I think this is just such a cool figure. And now, oh my gosh, like, the difference here is kind of wild, right? Like, the 1st edition looks full-on mage, wizard, sorcerer, and now the 5th edition looks... I don't know if I would have even guessed he was a magic user. Well, I guess apart from summoning the spirit companion or whatever it is. But how cool is that? All right, but let's leave that for last, because we do have another duplicate. Right after I said in a single brick you don't get a whole lot of duplicates, and now I think we've gotten 3 duplicates. We had only 2 duplicates in the whole first brick, but now we have a second of these bugbears. But like I said, if I was going to pick between the bugbear editions, it was definitely 5th edition. So I'm glad if I got a duplicate bugbear, it was going to be 5th. But now, folks, I just caught a glimpse of this, and it is very exciting because it is a new figure that I have not seen. This is a first edition elf. Oh my gosh, look at that. How sweet is that? That's a first edition elf. Oh my gosh, that is exciting for me only because I have not yet gotten this figure. So I'm very excited to have that. All right. Overall, we kind of went out with a bang with all of these new figures that we had not yet had before. Trying to see if there were any. What other ones did we already have? What ones didn't we have? So actually, when you kind of break it down, we did get a bunch of new figures here. We did get a Chase. We did get 2 new big ones, and then we have all the rest of these. So that, oh, and of course the camera wasn't even on. These are all the new ones that we picked up. So very cool. These, oh no, and this guy too. So that makes what, 1, 2, 3, 3 duplicates, I guess. I don't remember now. 3 duplicates in this, but these. So we had 3 big new guys and all the rest of these new guys as well. And then these we also had in that first brick. All right, very cool. I'm excited to open the next 2 bricks. But as always, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time.